Okay, how do I find the URL for it? Is that taking a feed? I don't see anybody in the comments, though, so I don't think anybody's found us.
Oh, there we go. It's live.
There we go. Yeah, I got it here. Okay. That was very, very difficult. So here is, let me jump into, actually, I'll just put us back up here. There it is. We will get back up as we try and get us on. Here we go. All right. So here is, there's where we are. All right. Sorry about that, everybody. Let me just shared that with April. Let me share this with Rachel so she can share it out. Just a minute. Okay. That was frustrating. I had it. That was, I'm not going to make excuses. It just crashed. I just crashed and I wasn't able to come back. That happened. That happened. Well, that happened. All right. We went from 600 people on. We went from 600 people to 64. I'm glad you folks found us. We will share it out as best we can. It's actually showing old. Oh, that's showing us an old one there. Just a minute. We'll get back. Where were we? Mike, do you remember what
I think Mike had just wrapped.
Yeah, I just wrapped. Productive. That's my third contender.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. That was an adventure. How the world did that happen? Yeah, people are starting to find us again now. Sorry, folks, about that. That was literally, I just clicked on a button to change screens, and everybody went away. It must have been fun on your guys' side.
We were just all hoping it wasn't us.
I said, where'd everybody go? And nobody answered. Nobody answered. Oh, why do I do this? Why do we do this? Ian Anderson Gray, you're a live streamer. Why do we do this? Why do we put ourselves through this?
We love the pressure. We love the excitement.
That must be it.
Or not.
That must be it.
I don't know.
Well, that was something we learned, and it'll give us something to have a conversation with our other friends about. Everything else was going smoothly. And we were sharing some great apps. So here's, for those of you that have found us again, we will kind of just jump back into it. I don't know how we'll fix this in replay. I think what's going to happen is I'm going to have to download both, stitch them together, and then upload them as a completely fresh video. What a cluster F. I almost said a bad word.
We're all thinking it.
Well, actually, when you guys all went away, I did say a bad word.
Allowed.
Or two. And you know what? Farley didn't even move. He didn't find no issues whatsoever. Just like, doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me one little bit. All right. Who's
so
next?
Does that
Rachel?
mean nothing before this counted now? So like I'm now winning again? Is that what no? All right.
No. We will go back. We will go back and we will do the best we can. So we got 98 people back online. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's get to Rachel. Rachel, what's up next? What's the next app that you have here for App Wednesday?
Well, you just mentioned saying words, so I'm going to roll with that one. Mine is by webfx.com, and it's a readability scorer. So I work in a lot of wielding of words. I do a lot of live streaming, but I also do a lot of writing.
Wait a second.
Do you have it?
Oh, that's a problem.
Hello?
Yeah, I know what's going on. It's me. I was trying to find us, and I found us on YouTube, so you were there talking at the same time. All right. So what's the name of your app?
It's Readable Checker by webfx.com.
There we go. All right. Let's get
Thank you. Marvelous. No problem. So you were just talking about words, and I work in words. I wield words. I say that quite often. And it's so important. I don't know if all of you watching this realize when people read, you are supposed to be trying to put out content that is at an 8th grade reading level nowadays. Now that might seem, no, Rachel, we've got people graduating high school and going to college. I know, I hear you, but that is the target for marketers and content makers to write to. That they want to write to where an 8th grader or up can understand what you're writing. And so WebFX makes this really cool free tool. So let's say that you've written a blog and you haven't published it yet, and you decide, I want to go check my readability. How old would somebody have to be to understand what I wrote? So in readability, on the, I believe you can copy and by the input tab on there, you can actually copy and paste whatever you wrote in there, and it will score what you wrote, and it'll tell you right there saying, hey, your readability score is this, so anyone who's about 20 or 21 can understand it, or anyone who's about 13 or 14 can understand it. And remember your target is 8th graders. This is so important, everyone. Granted, yes, we talk a lot about video. We're all on a video right now, but we were just talking about transcribing. We're talking about communicating, and so much of that is still done by spoken word, and it's so easy. I mean, we're all smart people, right? We all like to write like we are using big words and complex ideas and, oh my God, I'm so smart. Yes, you are. You're fabulous. But if you want to be understood, that's a bit more important in my brain than sounding smart. And sometimes you have to simplify or make your language understandable. I used to work in a Department of Human Services for our state. And that was the goal, because you realize you have so many different audience members who have different degrees of being able to read, right? And if you're targeting that 8th grade reading level, at least that person can understand it, and literally everybody above that reading level can understand it too. So you're going for that. So I love this readability test tool. I use this every day. You can also, aside from putting in and copying and pasting text in, if you have your blog up and you're like, Rachel mentioned this readability tool on this YouTube on App Wednesday. Maybe I should go check some of my blogs. You can actually grab the link to your blog and go pop it in the test by URL, and it'll automatically cycle up and tell you what reading level your blog is written at. And if you are, hitting about, hey, you can be read by 35 to 45-year-olds, no one younger, maybe, again, gauge your audience, but maybe you want to make it to where it's readable by more people. So I'm a huge fan of accessibility, and I love some of the apps we've talked about today, but I want to be understood. Yeah, I'm smart, but I want to be understood. So this is a great tool to make sure that your stuff that you're putting out by spoken word, or written word rather, is readable.
That's I would have thought that actually that you'd be aiming for even lower than 8th grade level. So I think that's giving the world a lot of credit.
Yeah, and I remember when I first heard that stat, I'm like, are you serious? And those are other discussions we can have about why it's so low. But that is what we're targeting, to make sure that at least stuff that's out there in the general public, that they can access and understand your communication. So
Mike's
I love
Mike's a pretty active blogger. Have you ever done a readability test, Mike?
No, I tend to use Yoast's SEO as kind of like, this is too high of a level. I've never really looked at this tool before, but what's interesting is my assistant Vanessa has said, she said, sometimes when you talk, Mike, when you share your stuff, it's at a higher level than it really needs to be. And she's a former teacher, so she's like, we should analyze this. So it's definitely an interesting thing to consider. I should start putting in some blog post links and seeing if I'm hitting the right notes.
Good heavens, I just messed up Ian's picture there.
Ian was quite small.
I know I'm small, Steve, but not that small.
I thought I had locked those things. All right, let's get on. I am going to be so happy when today's podcast or today's live stream is over. I am going to be so freaking happy. So who do I need? We need Mike. We need Ian. Ian.
No, Ian.
What's the last one? And by the way, guys, this is going to be the final round. We're only doing 3 rounds today. I'm making an executive decision. I'm hanging on by a thread, so we'll just go to the third one here.
It's all right, Steve. It's going to be okay.
Sure it is. Yeah.
So my final app is called Shuffle, and it is currently only available for iOS, but they are working on Android, so you can join the Android waitlist. And it's a way of listening to podcasts with other people, or you can kind of react and listen with other people, not necessarily live, but you basically can import all the podcasts that you listen to into Shuffle. So for example, I use Pocket Casts. You can import all the ones that you like, and then you listen to them on the Shuffle app, and you can see what other people are saying at certain points as you go through the app. Now, I probably wouldn't use this for all the podcasts that I listen to, because what I like to be able to go out on a walk or listen in the car. But for certain podcasts, I've used this, and it's really interesting. You can kind of brainstorm ideas and see what other people are saying at certain points in the podcast. And I really like this idea, particularly, over the last year. I think a lot of people have felt really quite lonely. And I think this is the great app where you can listen, have the feeling that you're listening with other people and kind of discussing ideas as well. So I really like the idea, and I think there's a lot of mileage in it. So this is Shuffle.
I'm gonna say right away, it's a fascinating idea, and of course, the big challenge that all podcasters have is, because of the nature of where people listen to podcasts, is getting any feedback from your community is well nigh on impossible. And so podcasts, I think that's one of the reasons so many podcasts fail or people stop doing them, is they're probably doing far better than they realize, but they just don't have the positive feedback from a community because it's difficult. Well,
it's so true. I've got a story about that. I knew this was going to be the case when I did launch my podcast in 2019. But even still, about episode 2025, I was looking at the stats, and actually the stats were pretty good. But I, for some reason, was looking at them and thinking, oh, that's not great. And then I was almost at the point of thinking, oh, I'm going to give up. But I went to a conference, and I literally bumped into 6 or 7 people who all said to me, Ian, I love your podcast. And I was kind of saying to them, why didn't you tell me this like a couple of weeks ago?
I could have used
you could have made me feel better. But I think because podcasting is such an intimate experience, people actually don't necessarily want to share it with other people because it's their listening experience. I think with Shuffle, people do want to share those ideas, and I really love that. And I think I'd be interested to know if Shuffle allows us to, as content, as podcast creators, to actually go in there and actually take ownership of our podcast and build our own communities within the app. It's not quite there yet. I don't know whether they're doing that. That'd be awesome, though.
See, that would be interesting. And another way it would be interesting is if they develop some sort of an API integration with main podcast players, so people could. So if you're listening to it in Overdrive or Pocket Player or whatever app you happen to be using, so that people can give reactions to the podcast in real time as they're listening to it in their player app in their app of choice, and that would help. So maybe it would have, rather than be an app itself, referring back to a website or some sort of a chat engine or something like that. So that's still needed, but it's not there yet. But it's a step in the right direction. There we go. It's called what's it called again? It's called
Shuffle.
Strange name, because shuffle makes it sound like you want to move on to the next one. I know. Shuffle makes you go is that right? Makes you go shuffle. All right, let's get everybody back on right now, and let's recap. And April, what we're going to do is we're going to drop our link to the winners, to the App Wednesday winners. And we are going to, don't vote yet, because the next thing that we have to do is we have to choose one app from each of our contenders. And so the way we do this is we ask each individual to pick one of the other people's apps. So I'm going to start with Mike. And I'm going to say, Mike, you get to pick one of Rachel's apps to be a final contender. And her apps are ClickUp, Marco Polo, and the WebFX readability tool. So which is the finalist for that group?
Oh boy. The competitive person in me wants to go with her third option, but the ClickUp is the one I'm going to say.
Of course, you have to say that, because I would tell him if you didn't.
I'm really shocked and surprised. This is my shock face.
I'm gonna say ClickUp, because as much as you do hit a limitation for what it offers at that free level. I've studied so many productivity apps, and we have moved productivity to ClickUp. It's a winner, so I'm gonna say ClickUp.
Okay, ClickUp is Rachel Morris. Rachel, you get to pick one of Mike Vardy's. Not Mike, sorry. You get to pick one of Ian Anderson Gray's. So Ian's are Descript, and Shuffle.
Oh, this is a hard one. It's definitely between Descript and Shuffle. I'm going to go for practicality purpose. You know what? I'm going to go with Shuffle. Sorry.
What?
I'm going with Shuffle. I'm totally going to try Descript. But I think Shuffle, oh my gosh, you talked about all the best use cases for it.
She's so playing the game.
I love Shuffle. That sounds
playing the
amazing. I want to go
game.
do it. And I don't even have an iPhone, y'all. I don't have an iPhone. I can't even
She
use
is
Shuffle.
so playing the game. Because Descript was the winner by a country mile. As far as like the chat and everything else.
This is what happened. This is what happened last time. This is the last time I'm going on the show.
Nastiness.
I feel bad now, but not enough to change my vote.
No. You played the game. You played it
No,
well.
you gotta stick with
Hate
it.
the player,
That's
hate the
okay.
game.
We won't forget. The North doesn't forget.
The North.
Mike Vardy.
Winter is coming.
Mike, you get to pick one of who was it here? You get to Ian. You get
Ian gets to
no,
pick me.
to pick one of Mike's. There we go.
Yep.
So Mike's are Obsidian and To Be or Not To Be and Productive. The French Productive.
Oh, that's hard. Like I do like the Tubi one, but I can't get that in. It's not available in Europe or the UK. So I'm gonna. I'm gonna go with the productivity. The last one. What was the
habit tracking app?
Productive.
Yeah, Productive. I like that.
Oh, okay. Productive. The habit tracking app. Okay. Well, I got to say, I'm surprised by almost all of them. Okay. So here's what we do. We drop the link and we can start voting. People can just start voting right away and we will see the responses coming in. We should see them coming in real time. So if I'm not mistaken, so do you have that? Is April back? Have I got her back? Let me just get the link. Make sure that
I believe she is.
Yeah, the link going. So there we go. Let's see if it's coming out here. Go check the responses. Nope, not coming through yet. Okay.
She's got a link for the winner choice out there in the chat.
Okay. Oh, yep. Now we're starting to get votes in. So let's go to the polls, shall we? And we'll go to our election desk and see what's going to be called when we're going to be called. So there's the there it is. It's all up there. Let's just bring everybody back in and hope that it doesn't crash. There we go. Yeah, we're all here. All right. So far, Rachel's winning with ClickUp, 14 votes but Ian Anderson Gray with a sympathy vote. Shuffle is way behind. I'm telling you. If it had been Descript, I'm pretty sure you would have rocked it. So Rachel's got a little lead. Mike's holding a space, and Ian, you always are you really never going to come on again? Is that it?
No, come on. It's okay. You're just
what happens.
No, I love it. Really, I love it.
You know, decisions have consequences.
Okay,
decisions have consequences.
Okay, so Ian, was that because we're ending it early, right? We had 5 choices, right? I had another option as my last one that I would have gone with. Did you have another one that you would have ended with to kind of did you have that?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, my final one. Yeah, I was quite happy with that.
It's like the cleanup hitter, right? Like this is the guy that we're going to, that's that. So I had Reflection, which was my journaling app of choice, which I was going to close out with, but I closed out with Productive. You came in right out of the gate, Rachel, with ClickUp, which was a wise move. That's totally how you play it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not. I'm looking at the bar chart right now.
Oh, people are giving.
You know what? It's a
like,
sympathy vote. It's a sympathy vote. It's the sympathy vote.
That's not. I mean, whatever. There's no fairness here. It's fine, but
no, there's no fairness here. So just to let everybody know that each of our contestants today did enter some extra ones, which we will be sharing with you in the shared notes. So you'll see some of their other great free apps as well that we'll be sending out to you in a few moments. So what are we doing for time here? Well, we're already 5 minutes over, so we'll give it a few more minutes. Man, it is neck and neck. Oh, it is neck and neck. Ian and Rachel are Ian's surging ahead.
Thanks a lot, y'all.
He's got the bit between his. He's got
he
the
was
bit
gonna
between
come
his
back.
teeth.
He was going to come back.
Surging ahead. And Mike is just falling down. I think, have you ever won, Mike?
Never.
Oh Oh,
Yeah.
This is
well,
very
Mike,
familiar.
Oh.
This is very familiar territory for me.
let's be on
Oh.
another one, and I'll apparently I
Okay.
help people win.
Well, that's this is you know what this shows? It shows how kind our community is. It shows
Yeah.
how, and I think Rachel, you need to take a lesson from this. That kindness counts with this community. All right.
I
So
was
it's in the
honest.
future.
They
Honesty.
want
I
Ian back
honestly
on it.
voted.
Yeah.
They want
That's
Ian back on
fine.
for live stream issues.
I want
like
Ian
in
back
case
on
this-
too. I
Ian's
want Ian
gotta
back
be
on
here for
too, but
support.
that's okay. You know
Oh,
what's great
man.
about this? We can all try all these apps out. It's great, except
There
for
we
me
go.
because I
Yeah,
can't actually use
definitely.
Shuffle because I have an Android.
Yes, it's just the one Android person. All right, so the election desk is going to call it. Ian Anderson Gray is our winner. Ian, how do you feel?
Wow.
Is this like the best moment of your entire life?
It is. It is. Can you tell?
No,
It is.
it's
I'm
not.
very, very happy.
All
Here's my
right,
golf clap for you.
Golf clap for everybody. Hey, folks, those that stuck with us and found us again, thank you so much. We will we will endeavor to do better next week as we work through this world of live streaming. I don't know why we've had so much. We have had 3 weeks. Well, last week was smooth. A couple of weeks before, we did have issues that we solved. We thought by going into using Ecamm as our delivery platform, but it just blew up. It blowed up. So we're going to have a chat with the boys over at Ecamm and see if they can't figure out exactly what happened, and if there's a way to make sure that we get back in the stream if it does happen to crash again. Because that was the issue, is the fact that we couldn't get back in to the screen. If it had crashed and we could have got back in, it would have been no harm, no foul. But that is another lesson learned. And am I going to become an object lesson in one of your live streaming classes, Ian?
Yeah. I'm going to download this and put it into my course.
So I got to thank April in the control room for keeping things going as it fell off the rails here, to Rachel Moore, Mike Vardy, and Ian Anderson Gray. Links to all of their sites and all of their content is available. It'll be sent out in the show notes that we send out as soon as we are said and done. Next week, we're gonna have a little bit of fun next week too. It's gonna be what's on Steve's iPhone. People are always curious, like, what apps do you use that are just the kind of the hidden gems that are on my phone? And so I've got a bunch of the apps that I use that I think are not necessarily mainstream, but the ones that I use that I think are well worth shining a little bit of light on. So what is on Steve's iPhone? Coming up next week. Once again, thanks to all of our patrons for your support here at Dottotech. We would not be here without you, and we appreciate your ongoing support. It's you are, as I say, you are the wind beneath our wings. If that's not too maudlin. Ian, congratulations, sir. That's like
Thank you.
I think we should end with a one shot of Ian because he's just like Studley. There it is. Just so we can see that great mop of hair. When you go gray, that is going to be spectacular.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I am starting to get a few grey hair, so it's slowly
Work
happening.
on it. Work on it. We want to see you in the gray
I
zone
will.
eventually.
I will.
That's good. All right. So thanks so much to all our guests. Thanks so much to all of our community, as usual. Incredibly patient and incredibly insightful and valuable. April, thank you so much. Till next week, folks. Have fun storming a castle.